If you're an NRI sitting on a decent surplus, maybe 50 lakh or even 5 crore, you have probably asked yourself this one question. Where should I exactly invest my money in 2025? Should I send it back to India and take advantage of the growth? Or should I consider moving to Dubai for tax-free returns and no tedious nightmares? Now here is the hard truth. There is no one-size-fit-all answer here. Because NRI investing is not just about returns. It's about repatriation, liquidity, long-term access, personal goals, and even taxation. In this video, I'm going to break it down country by country. India, US, Dubai, and global diversification. And tell you how I have structured my own investments as an NRI living in the UK for over 14 years. I'll keep this real, practical, and relevant as of 2025. Okay, let's get into it. Let's start with India. Probably the first destination that comes to mind for most NRIs. India's story is really strong right now. Solid GDP growth, booming mutual fund industry, and equity markets that have delivered 12 to 14% CAGR over the last decade. And with retail participation at its all-time high, this trend isn't slowing down anytime soon. Mutual funds in India, especially flexi cap, mid cap, and index funds, are well regulated by SEBI and have become the go-to choice for NRIs who are looking to grow wealth over the long term. You can invest via NRE or NRO accounts, set up SIPs, and even redeem into INR or repatriate it later. But here's the catch. While India definitely offers strong long-term growth, also comes with TDS, tax filing complexities, and of course rupee depreciation risk. As an NRI, the moment you redeem equity mutual funds, you are charged 10% long-term capital gain tax on profits exceeding 1.25 lakhs in a given financial year. This rate is correct as per the current Income Tax Act section 112A and applies to units held over 12 months. And what about debt mutual funds? After the April 2023 changes, they no longer enjoy any indexation benefits. So all gains regardless of holding period are taxed as short-term capital gains on your applicable tax slab rate. There is no separate flat LTCG rate for NRIs anymore, unless the fund qualifies under some special provisions, which unfortunately most debt funds don't. So India as an investment is fantastic for INR spending goals, like retiring back home, funding a house, or any long-term rupee expense. But it's less flexible if you want fast access to dollars or plan to stay abroad for a long time. Okay, next let's talk about the US, or more broadly USD based investments, because this is where most NRIs are looking for stability. ETFs or exchange traded funds like Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF VTI, or Vanguard S&P 500 ETF VOO, or Vanguard's High Dividend Yield ETF VYM, or even SCHD ETF have become very popular. They give you broad exposure to US markets, have low expense ratios, and the best part, many of them even pay out quarterly dividends in USD. So what exactly are the benefits you get by investing into US based ETFs? Number 1, dollar denominated growth. Number 2, global stability. Number 3, seamless tracking and liquidity. And number 4, zero TDS from India, because these are not Indian assets. But here is the tax catch. If you are a US tax resident, yes, this is the most tax aligned route. But for the NRIs living in the UK, UAE, Canada or Singapore, you still need to report your foreign holdings. And depending on your country's tax laws, you might end up paying capital gains or dividend tax locally as well. For example, UK residents pay 10% or even 20% capital gain tax depending on their income slab after the annual CGT exemption limit, which is currently £3,000 per year, and 8.75% dividend tax once you cross your £500 dividend allowance in a given tax year. These rates are subject to change in each fiscal update, so always check gov.uk or any similar government official websites for the latest tax brackets. If you plan to return to India and spend rupees later, this money will need to be converted. And if the rupee strengthens, your dollar value falls. So US ETFs are amazing for capital stability, low cost and diversification. But if you need INR income, they are only half the picture. Now let's come to the wild card which is getting a lot of attention off late, Dubai. Why? Only one word, zero tax. If you're an NRI living in Dubai, you pay absolutely zero income tax, no capital gain tax, and as of 2025, a very NRI friendly real estate ecosystem with long-term visa options, short-term rental income, and dollar-pegged currency. Dubai real estate has been booming, especially in the short-let segments, waterfront properties, and branded residences. Gross rental yields of 6 to 8% are common, especially if you list on Airbnbs or managed furnished rentals. So first, let's talk about the pros. Tax-free income, USD-pegged currency, strong resale demand from international buyers, and residency and business perks if structured right. But there are some cons as well. High entry costs, 2 to 3 crore minimum for decent assets. High maintenance charges, service fees, and seasonal risks. Also, clearly real estates have lower liquidity compared to a mutual fund or an ETF. So Dubai can be an amazing option for cash flow and tax-free passive income only if you're good at managing real estate or partner with a professional property management company. Now comes the most important part. Pratik, where exactly do you invest? And what's the real blend that works? this. So here's my honest answer. My personal NRI portfolio is structured in 4 layers. Layer 1, INR based Indian mutual funds. I have long-term SIPs and lump sum exposure in Indian mutual funds and ETFs. These are for my rupee based goals like real estate in India, kids' future if at all I decide to move back to India and plan my kids' education over there, and living expenses in retirement. Layer 2 is USD based global ETFs. I've been building a decent mix of US ETFs like VYM, SCHD, WUSA via platforms that allow global access. These generate dollar income for me, act as a currency hedge as well, and give me global stability. Layer 3 is liquid assets in NRI and FCNR FDs. I usually like to park at least 6 to 9 months of my living expenses as an emergency fund either in NRI FDs or liquid mutual funds. This gives me peace of mind and easy INR access. Layer 4 is real estate. I have allocated a portion of my portfolio to rental real estate. In Pune, I have invested in an under construction apartment which is expected to be ready by early next year. That is intended for long-term living if I decide to go back or earn some stable rental income. In the UK, I own a residential property which again is rented out and is generating a rental yield of around 8.6%. Though after accounting for local taxes, mortgage interest and other deductions, the net yield falls to around 5.5 to 6%. So these properties aren't speculative. They're purely selected for income stability, diversification and some long-term global exposure. So the truth is no one country can give you everything. US gives stability but dollar exposure. Dubai can give you tax benefits but then comes with lower liquidity. So as smart NRIs, we can just try to blend them together based on our personal goals. If you're retiring in India, you will need INR cash flow. Similarly, if you're staying abroad, you will need dollar stability. If you want tax-free income, you will need Dubai strategy or offshore structuring. And remember, personal finance is personal. So always factor in your time horizon, your family needs. So if this video helped you get some clarity, please hit that like and do subscribe. So this is all I had for this video. I'll see you soon in another interesting video. Till then, you take good care of yourself. This is me, Pratik, signing off from NRIs. Over and out.